What is happening, everybody? I hope you enjoyed the intro showing off this build, and let me know what you think about the format of this build video. I went back and forth a couple of times on how to lay it out, but I think I like what I landed on, but let me know in the comments section. Alright, this build we are looking at is Bottom Tree Dawnblade, what I call the Explode Everything or the Big Bada Boom build. That's right. All you nerds out there know the reference. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at Bottom Tree Dawnblade and see what the foundation of this build is. The star of the show is Igniting Touch. It says strike a combatant with this melee ability to burn them. Defeating burning combatants causes them to explode. Now what this doesn't say is not only does your melee cause them to burn, but so does the impact of your grenade as well as your super. But wait, there's more! The explosion from Igniting Touch also causes a burn, which creates a chain effect where you will burn, explode, cause the surrounding enemies to burn, explode. You see where I'm going with this? It's awesome. It's like the best ad clear in the game right now. These next two perks are all about your super. Faded for the Flame makes your Daybreak projectiles seek targets, and upon impact they leave a streak of deadly flames. Again, this will trigger Igniting Touch for those juicy explosions. Everlasting Fire is going to extend the duration of your Daybreak with every kill you get, so this super lasts a very long time as long as you're chaining kills together. The last perk is Phoenix Dive. It is an on-demand heal. Activate while midair to quickly descend and restore your health. If you do it while you're in your super, it'll also cause an AoE explosion around you and also return super energy. It's fantastic, and you don't even have to jump high to trigger it at all. You can just do a single hop, hold down your crouch button, and trigger that heal. Now that we understand the subclass, there are a few different ways we can take this build, all with the goal of causing as many explosions as possible through our grenades. Yes, our melee can also trigger the explosions, but let's face it, we're warlocks, leave the punching to the titans. No, but the reality is, grenades are just a much safer play, especially in harder content. The exotic at the center of this build is Dawn Chorus. Your Daybreak projectiles cause targets to burn on contact and deal more damage to them. All of your burn effects will last longer, and you gain a small amount of melee energy each time one of your burns damages a target. Now this thing turns the Daybreak super into a monster. The bonus damage has a stacking effect, and by the end of it, you're going to be doing over 200% extra damage with your super. But the melee can also add to these stacks, so what you're going to want to do is hit a melee or even a grenade first to get that first stack up. That way you've got more of your swords getting that bonus damage. It basically turns one of the best ad clearing supers into one of the best single target damaging supers as well. Another little hidden bonus of Dawn Chorus is that it extends the detonation radius of Igniting Touch from 7 meters to 9 meters. Now there is one major drawback to this helmet, and that's, well, yeah. For combat mods, we're going to want to run Bountiful Wells, 2 Explosive Well Makers, and Elemental Ordnance. The last combat mod is where we have some flexibility. The first option is to run Well of Potency. This will get your super back the fastest. The second option is to run a second Elemental Ordnance, which is the most team-friendly build as it'll create another well from your grenade kills. The third variation runs Well of Ordnance, which will grant you extra grenade energy when you pick up a well. The fourth option is to run Elemental Armaments. If you're like me and find yourself shooting your Vex Mythic class quite often, then this will let your build have a balance between both weapon and ability usage, and still allows you to create a ton of wells. The final option is to run Well of Life. If you need a bit more survivability, this will give you 10 seconds of uninterrupted health regeneration every time you pick up a well. If you want to take your survivability even further beyond, say for a GM Nightfall or Master Vault of Glass, we can swap out Well of Potency, Elemental Ordnance, and 1 Explosive Well Maker for Protective Light, Elemental Charge, and Well of Life. This will still let our explosions spawn 2 wells each to recharge our abilities, give us uninterrupted health regeneration for 10 seconds, and now allows us to get charged with light to use Protective Light. Other mods we're going to want to include in the build are Ashes to Assets and Hands On for our helmet. Now you can run double Ashes to Assets if you have the extra 2 points to spare. On our gauntlets we're going to want to run Grenade Kickstart, which will give us a nice chunk of grenade energy every time we throw a grenade. On our boots we're going to want to slot in 2 Innervations. This will give us grenade energy every time we pick up an orb of power. Alright, now that we got the mods out of the way, the stats you're going to want to aim for are 10 recovery. Discipline you're going to want to get as high as you can, so I'd say aim for at least 7 to 10. And then the rest you're going to want to dump into intellect. I've started moving away from pushing for high intellect in PvE for a couple of reasons. One, it has very harsh diminishing returns past even just 4 intellect. As you can see on the intellect chart here, going from 9 to 10 only gives you 4 seconds off your super. 8 to 9 is only 8 seconds off your super. I think the sweet spot for intellect in PvE is anywhere from about 5 to 7, at minimum 4. Those extra points are going to be much more noticeable spent in your grenade, where you'll notice 20% more grenades every minute, over 20 seconds off your super. Remember, in PvE, the majority of your super energy comes from killing enemies, not from waiting around. And killing enemies doesn't recharge your grenade faster, so yeah, that's the logic I kind of lean on. Now, when it comes to PvP, I definitely still recommend running high intellect. Now, the gameplay loop and general playstyle of this build is really straightforward. You toss your grenades at large groups of adds to cause a chain reaction of explosions, spawning wells. You pick up the wells to get back your grenade, melee, and super energy. When it's safe and your grenade's on cooldown, you can use your melee to cause those chain reactions to spawn the wells. You're going to want to pick off single targets or smaller groups with your masterworked weapon to generate orbs. You'll pick up those orbs to recharge your grenade. And your super is versatile. You can use it for large groups of adds or for boss damage. Although if there's a mix of both, I'll probably want to lean on my linear fusion for the boss damage and save the super for the adds. And that leaves us with weapons. Well, the good news is this build does not rely on anything specific, so what weapons you run will depend upon the activity you're running and just what you've got access to. Obviously, fusions are the meta right now. Particle deconstruction adds 40% damage, so Vex in a linear fusion, or if you got 1k voices, Cartesian coordinate, you really can't go wrong with any of those. So I've been running Threaded Needle for boss damage, major damage, Vex for pretty much my all-purpose, and then the kinetic slot I've been running Ignition Code with Demolitionist, which will help me get back my grenade energy in a pinch. And that'll wrap up my first build video. Don't forget to do the YouTube thing, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you thought about the format. Toodles.